Hello, everyone. This is Sophie Padalecki from the Office of PACE Success Coaches at Alamance Community College. And today we're going to be talking about study strategies. So here's just a little background information on studying and study strategy. So number one, studying is often the first thing that students cut from their schedules because there are no immediate repercussions. But it's important to remember that dropping studying or not doing that if it's on your to-do list will affect your grade and your stress levels in the long term. So a lot of times it's forgotten because it won't hurt you right then, but it will hurt you later. It's important to remember. Number two, many students were never taught helpful study methods. And number three, many college students do not know when and how often to study. But luckily, we're going to talk about all of that today. So first, we're talking about when to study. So as you can see, it can be helpful to divide your purposes for studying into two categories, maintenance and preparation, and this will help you tell when to study. So let's start with maintenance on the left in the pink. Maintenance allows you to keep up with important information from class to class. This is the reviewing and reading you'll complete after each class to learn new material. And one of the easiest ways to maximize what you learned in class is to review your notes within 24 hours of the class session. Then on the right, the green, we have preparation. This is studying that prepares one for a specific task, such as a test, a final, an exam, presentation. It's targeted study that readies you for a specific application of your knowledge. And important to remember for preparation is distributed practice. This is studying for shorter time intervals over a long period of time. So for example, this would be studying 20 minutes a day for 8 days instead of cramming the night before. So now we have a stop and think. So pause the video, talk about this with a friend, write it in your journal, tell your PACE success coach. But did you know there were two types of studying? I did it before I made this presentation, to be honest. Which do you need to work on the most and why? I think I probably need to work on maintenance the most because preparation, I feel like everyone prepares if they have a test coming up, but maintenance is studying every day after a class, which a lot of people don't think of. Alrighty. Now we get to talk about how to study. So these are going to be some specific studying methods with explanations and examples. And it's important to remember that you don't need to try to do all of these at once. Instead, select the methods that best match your course material and best match your learning style preference. All right, first we have flashcards. To use flashcards, place the concept or word you need to know on one side and the important information to remember on the other side. And another tip is to carry the cards with you so you can flip through them while waiting for the bus or when you have an extra few minutes throughout the day so you can really be studying all day. Flashcards are helpful when you have multiple definitions of key terms, numerous dates, important vocabulary, or when there are multiple pieces of information to remember for a single idea, like the steps of a scientific process. A really good resource if you don't want to make physical flashcards is Quizlet. It's a really great online flashcard platform, and you can do it whenever you are if you have your computer or phone. So it's really convenient. All right, next we have creating self-tests. So this is when you create your own version of the test to practice beforehand. As you can see, here's a picture of an example of a self-test. So how to come up with questions. Number one, you can use questions the instructor posed in class. Number two, use questions posed in the textbook. Number three, turn section reviews and section headings into questions. And number four, use questions you had while taking/reviewing notes. And a little tip about creating self-tests. You and a classmate can each create your own self-tests and give them to each other. All right, next, here are some general other ideas. So number one, complete practice in the book. Many textbooks contain practice or problem sets, so utilize these. You can even try to complete those that aren't assigned. So let's say the teacher gives you a math assignment and they say do the odd questions. If you're reviewing and studying for a test, why don't you try the evens? Next, we have review graded papers. So look over past homeworks, tests, projects, or papers that contain helpful instructor feedback. And then finally, form a study group. So group members can pool their collective knowledge and also benefit from others' perspectives. Another idea that I didn't put on here because it's really small is color coding notes. That also works for a lot of people. All right, next we have creating visual organizers. So we have Venn diagrams. As you can see, a lot of people know what that is. I just included an image. Informal outlines. If you're not sure what an outline is, you should check out the note-taking PowerPoint. and then concept maps. I included this really cool concept map here about history. If you want more information on these, because I know it is brief in this PowerPoint, check out chapter 11 in the Success by Design textbook. So yeah, creating visual organizers is just arranging information into charts and diagrams can be very helpful for a lot of people. All right, next we have mnemonic devices. I think this is my favorite. It's a memory tool that allows you to recall a large amount of specific information by creating a memorable word, sentence, or rhyme. So a type of mnemonic device on the left is an acronym. This is a word that helps one remember the information in order of items. So a very common acronym that a lot of people know is PEMDAS. Another one for English coordinating conjunction is fanboys. So as you can see, it's a word, but each letter is something you need to remember. So F is for, A is N is nor, and so on. Another type of mnemonic device is an acrostic sentence. This is an interesting sentence that allows one to remember the order of steps or events. So as you can see, I have an example of the planets in our solar system. So the interesting sentence that you remember is, my very educated mother just served us noodles. It's weird, it's interesting, so you'll remember it. And as you can see, each letter corresponds to a planet and it goes in order. So it's a really great way to remember things. Rhymes can also be helpful when we're talking about mnemonic devices. And often you don't have to invent your own mnemonic device. Google your topic and then the word acronym or acrostic, rhyme, or even just mnemonic, and see if you can find some existing helpful mnemonic devices. Okay, we have another stop and think. Which study strategies have you already tried? Does it work for you? Which study strategy would you like to try to utilize more often in the future, and why? I've definitely tried mnemonic devices and it really works for me, but I think it'd be cool to try the concept mapping. I think it'd be cool to do the visual organizers because that's something I usually don't do, but it could be helpful. Alrighty, so that's the end. If you want more information, please check out the Success by Design textbook, your success coaches, or even look for online resources because I know there's a lot of great studying online resources. So yeah, thank you so much. Bye.